So we are live now. So
Perfect.
good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to the live session of Getty Talk. I'm Anisha, your today's host from Getty. Getty is a leading teachers training institution in India where the purpose is to prepare teachers to become outstanding practitioners. Every child has the right to an education. Education transforms the lives and breaks the cycle of poverty that traps so many children. Education for girls is important as an educated mother will make the next generation educated. The Sustainable Development Goals are the blueprint to achieve the global challenges we face, like poverty, inequality, climate change, quality education, and many more. Our today's guest, Mr. Daud Vaid from Mumbai, is talking about Changemaker's world. Mr. Daud is a mindset coach, uh, an educationist, and a quizzer, an electronics engineer, MA in education, and an MBA. He leads the curriculum team at Sky Education. He left his lavish career as patent and trademark attorney at Switzerland, Moscow, and Dubai to work on SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goals, and skill workshops. He is an author of the book The Education Riddle. He is a certified instructor for teaching 21st century skills and leadership. He is developing a student-centric curriculum and run online hub schooling called the Golden Sparrow. A very warm welcome, sir, on the Getty Forum.
Thank you so much, Anisa, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Over to you, sir.
Right. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello and welcome. I am Dawood Waid. It's a great honor to be in this forum, something that I really relish to speak about it. I remember very fondly my meetings where I had this global classroom, and every lesson that I learned, perhaps it has helped me grow. And every interaction, every educator that I've met, it helped me to become a better person and a better teacher. What better time than talking about change makers today when the pandemic has forced us all to be a change maker perhaps we were reluctant to be. It could be technology, it could be facing somebody, it could be making presentations. So this is an entire world of its own. In when the pandemic started, and I, in fact, I had a flight today, and I had rebooked it 3 months back, thinking, okay, I will anyway fly down. 3 month, 3 महीना कितना बड़ा है, and I realized that you cannot fly. There's so many things that are not in our control. So let's talk about things that are in our control. What can we do? I would like to just share an idea, what I call the goalpost 17. In the change makers world, we are a world where we need to have some goals, some dreams, some programs. And this entire presentation is a small orientation of what our goals could be. Who can we speak to? What changes can you and I make? And this is what I would love to speak about. Well, as Anisa ma'am just shared with you, I'm an activist for SDGs. These are 17 goals by United Nations called the Sustainable Development Goals. I'll give you a history, I'll give you a little background, and trust me, as I was speaking to some other educators some days back, I said these are today's a mandatory learning for every school teacher, for every school leader, for the principal, for the management. It is the simple concept that if you don't know what's going around you, perhaps one corona, one virus can put everything at a standstill. Imagine so many challenges and we are not addressing them. So this is what I speak about it. And in fact, it puts me in trouble when I spoke about, let's say, goal number 13, climate change, or goal number 12, responsible consumption. And I told my daughters how much of the air conditioners that we use, it affects our environment. From that day, my girls stopped using AC at home. There are days when you want to use it. All I say is balance is important, but that's what my girls taught me. They said, Abba, that's it, no more ACs because we have to save the environment. And they keep telling what Greta tells us, that you have gone old, you're 40 plus. What about us? This is the world we have to live in. How are you helping us around? So, yeah, in this little lighter note, at least we are making educationists, we are making people dream about it, we are making people understand what the world looks like. This is a little background of what I've been doing. Of course, I was born in Kolkata, moved to Andaman Nicobar, did my engineering in Chennai, did a lot of work in Delhi, and the only thing I keep saying, I fell in love with a Mumbai girl, so I'm stuck in Mumbai now. But then I did a little bit of project. I'm a patent lawyer by profession, and I did some work with the Imperial College in Qatar, traveling across the world in Switzerland, a lot of work in Moscow. One thing, it's not about telling you what I did, but one thing I realized is today the world looks so flat. The world looks so ordinary. With one little area, today everybody is democratically aligned. I had some guests come and speak to me from all over the world. It was so wonderful. The very opportunities we were reluctant, today it's coming in. So why not speak about an issue that is plaguing the world around? An issue that could be your and my issue. What am I talking about? Well, let me take you back, far back, to almost a century back, where the World War One was happening. It was cold, damn winter. The countries which were supposed to know each other, the very European countries that are best friends today, were fighting one another. Germany was on the Axis side, France, Great Britain was on the Allies side, and on this winter December morning, they were fighting one another. Suddenly something very strange happens. What happened? Suddenly they realized that it was Christmas Eve. So this was 24th of Christmas, 25th of Christmas, and they started singing Christmas carols. First on the German side, then the British side, then they were French. And as we say, dekte, dekte, just as you see, suddenly they went up, and there was something called a no man's land. A land where decided to have a truce, a land where they decided that let's can we play some football. And this is a more pictorial, colorful picture of what really happened. And in the end, they ended up playing football for a good 2 hours. Imagine, no war for this very 2 hours. This is actually a football that they use in this war, the First World War, which completed 100 years. And the soldiers were the real heroes. The way we see our teachers and our doctors as the real corona warriors, these soldiers who set aside the egos, who set aside the enmity, who set aside the prejudices, were the real heroes as we talk about. What is this taking us to a change maker's world? It is telling us a one simple message that if you believe, yeah, there may be generals, there may be leaders who may be waging wars, but it takes one soldier to set aside all the enmity and play a game of football. And well, football is something that is very dear to me, very earth it is about. This is a message that I want to give you, and this is what Changemaker's world is about. Let me just share something better, something more interesting. This Christmas truce also had a little video. So I will play this video and let me see if you can see the video around. So hopefully we can play the video. Can I stop share and share it again? So you will be able to see my screen with the
Yeah,
video
sure.
around. I hope the audio is shared. Okay. So here we are. It's a lovely video. The same story I told you. Sometimes better when you hear the story and then you see the video. Right. Isn't it interesting? When you see something like that, your heart is filled with joy, with pride. When you see that,
True.
yes, there is so much of hope left in the world. I can see this movie over and over again. I just wanted to understand how the world works. In this amazing book, and I strongly recommend all those who are studying humanities, we speak a lot about STEAM. And of course, STEM or STEAM is very important. There is a concept called shape or heal. Humanities, environment, arts and literature. That's what I've coined it. There's a word in Cambridge used as shape. And it is said you must read this book by Steven Pinker, where Bill Gates, it's not the author, Bill Gates has recommended that this book gives us hope. It says the better angels of our nature, the world we are living in is far better than the world we had 100 years back, or 50 years back, or 60 years back, when in America the blacks were still discriminated. It took a Rosa Park to sit in the front of the bus. If you don't trust me, if you don't believe what I'm talking about, the world is better, read this book called Horrible History. I read this book with my daughter. I have a book at home, and my daughter loves history. And we realized the history was rotten. People like Ivan the Terrible, Ivan the Terrible, or Adolf Hitler, or so many Greeks, so many Egyptians, so many people from the Mongols, Genghis Khan, they were horrible, rotten people. Today we have some amazing people, great leaders. There is hope for the world, and that is what takes me to my Changemakers world, where I call goalpost 17. It's a goal number 16. It is peace, justice, and strong institution. So every time you think about something good happening in the world, there is an SDG coming. If you look at the screen itself, I put all the colorful colors out there. There are 17 boxes and one box called the SDG. This is what I want to teach you. My friends, if you learn nothing, my educators, if you only take up this one slide and say, oh, Changemaker's world is real, there are 17 goals, the football that we saw, it's real, amazing lessons you're taking back to your classrooms. And that is what I would love to talk to you about. And by the way, for the record, I usually show this video and my kids ask me, who won, by the way, the football match? So I say German won 2-1. Yeah, so I don't say it's irrelevant. They want to know the score. That's a curiosity that as teachers. So you give them right data, but this is a historical, amazing thing. The change makers world I'm talking about is this world, where our Prime Minister was awarded by same Microsoft, Bill Gates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji was given the award of the change makers world for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. As a nation, we are proud of receiving these. We are proud of upholding it. A lot of people can say, oh, India is not Singapore. India is not Germany. We have so dirty lanes. The fact that we have dirty lanes is an opportunity to become Swachh Bharat. In Mumbai, there is an amazing lawyer called Afzal Feroz, who just cleans up the beaches. One of the dirtiest beaches in India was the Warsaw beach. He just picked up one trash, one plastic, and today the Queen wants to meet it. That's what Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is all about. That is what Changemaker is all about. This is my lesson to you. Can we teach SDGs? What are the SDGs? Now at least you know the acronym. I hope I'm not that boring teacher who says SDGs memorize. Now you will come back and say, oh, sustainable development, Satat Vikas, I know them. Yeah, these are my goals now. They're not just some nice frame and nice colors. These are the goals we talk about. Any goal can be a goal that is close to your heart. It could be goal number 1, no poverty. It could be goal number 13. It could be goal number 12, responsible consumption. Goal number 16. And we learn about it. Just 17 goals. That's all. How amazing it is to be this. I just picked up some random newspapers and I said, what can I look about? If you look at a newspaper, my friends, any newspaper, you will see SDG goals around. For example, first thing you see is a lot of innovation happening around. So there is goal number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. A new building is constructed, a bridge is being made, something innovative is happening, a new phone, a new ventilator, anything that's innovation. Pick up any ad today on a historical landmark thing. Fair and Lovely has decided to remove the word fair from it. I do these workshops on SDGs, and we have a special workshop where I call Pink is the New Blue. Gender equality, goal number 5. I'm raising daughters. I know what it takes to be the one that we can talk about gender equality. As a nation, we should be proud. We have had a woman president where United Nations is still waiting for. When she lost the elections, the democratic elections, Bill Clinton's wife, Hillary Clinton, she said that India is far ahead because they've recognized women and we are not still to recognize it. Gender equality, still we have a long way to go to acknowledge it. Well, peace, justice, I just spoke about it. That's a great institution to talk about it. Black right activism, what happened right now in the United States, what is happening to migrants, it could be goal number 10. Anything is related to an SDG. Goal number 1, the first goal, no poverty. As a nation, yes, the moment you think of Mumbai, Slumdog Millionaire comes to mind. Strange enough, even the Hollywood only thinks of Mumbai as either very rich, Antillas, or Slumdog Millionaire. Oh, Mumbai is in between, right? We've got 1 and 2 BHKs and hopes and dreams and aspirations, but these are the goals I'm taking. So that is what I'm asking. Imagine no goals in life. How boring life would be. Imagine, it's like Alice in the Wonderland. I'm sure as teachers and English literature, everyone has read this amazing story of Alice who chases a rabbit and she falls down in the hole. And as she falls down in the hole, chasing the rabbit, Alice goes all the way down. And she gets up and there are doors and she picks up the key, the right one. And she gets out, she sees a cat. What is it? The Cheshire cat? And she asks the cat, where does this road lead to? So the cat says, Alice, where do you want to go? And Alice says, it doesn't matter where I want to go. So the cat says, it doesn't matter where the road leads to. When you have no goal in life, it doesn't matter where you land up with. It's the same way it says, a man who has no principle, a man who doesn't stand for anything will fall for everything. What are you standing for? Pick up one of the goal and make it one of the mission about it. There's 17 goals, my friend. Can you be an activist for at least one goal? Well, 17 is an interesting number, isn't it? All of us want to be what we call forever 17. We want to be young. We want to be dynamic. We want to be healthier. I think all of us, right? I'm sure, the ones who are listening, you're not so old. As teachers, we never get very old because we're teaching the young people. But, well, sometimes we have got a little knee pain, sometimes the back pain. We want to be 17. Imagine if you could go back and become younger, what would you do differently? How would you behave differently? There is another amazing book, and I keep referring to books because that's for my life. I love talking about it. I love reading a book by an Australian nurse by Debbie Rowe. She wrote a book called 5 Regrets of the Dying. And she says one of the regret people have when they are on the deathbed, the 2 regrets I'm going to share, not 5. One of them is, I wish I spent more time with my family. If today, 5 regrets, if you did not spend time with the family in the pandemic, the problem is not the family or the time. The problem is you, isn't it? If you did not read at least 5 books in the pandemic, the problem is not your time. The problem is your willpower. So this book is amazing, 5 Regrets of the Dying. And the second one people have regret is, I wish I stood up for something. I wish I did something good. I wish I had something that will become my legacy. So what can we do? Remember, there was an app that came, and I talk to teenagers, and that's where I'm very comfortable with, an app called FaceApp. And people started using FaceApp to become younger. I don't know how many of you use. Anisa ma'am, did you use the FaceApp? Please try it. It's fun. Download it and delete it, right? It's like TikTok. It's very addictive. Ma'am, you
Sure,
think?
sure. I've not tried yet, but definitely I would
I'm,
love to.
I'm sure we all have heard about it, where you put yourself and you become older now, right? So what I say is, feedback is very difficult. I can't go and complain. I wish 10 years back I could have changed that. I wish I had more hospitals 10 years back. I wish my school system was better. What we can do is feed forward. And that is what good educationist does. When you do a feedback loop, we actually tell them what not to do wrong in what mistakes not to do. These are called feed forward. So I'm just going a little funny take on FaceApp, and let us see how would these celebrities and the movie stars and the sports people look if I put them in a feed forward FaceApp. Who is this gentleman? Anybody want to try it out? I'm sure people can type it, or Anisa ma'am, you want to try it out? Very popular. You all know him. You all may be using the app.
Facebook owner.
Yes, he is Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. So this is
Yeah.
what people started doing. They started using the Face app to make celebrities. So these are some of the popular celebrities. This is my favorite, Lionel Messi, who may look this way, how the way
Messi.
old he look like. There is Vladimir Putin. There is Brad Pitt. There is Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage, by the way, a fantastic actor. So this is the kind of lesson we are learning from feedback. Well, this is our own Virat Kohli or Donald Trump or Barack Obama, who has not changed much. Okay, let me ask you one little quiz and go ahead. Who is this popular actor?
Leonardo.
Oh wow, Bam knows her Revenant and all the Titanic, so she knows about it. This is Leonardo DiCaprio, who's looking as handsome as he's looking younger, isn't it, ma'am? So I'm getting
True,
embarrassed. I'm going to change the screen,
very
right?
true.
Sorry, ma'am. There's a little echo, so just mute, please. Thank you. So now something very interesting happened. There was somebody who did an amazing job. As if we're having fun, our lessons come across, right? So one of the things is somebody took up an Earth picture and they said, imagine if I put Earth on a face app. 20 years, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, how will the Earth look like? And this was, he called it sarcasm. I call it reality if you don't act on it. This is a beautiful blue dot in the universe, will look barren, dark, black. Somebody did even a better job and made a cartoon on Face App on how Earth looks today with lovely green pastures and a blue Earth and an Antarctica, which is white spot on the forehead, like Mikhail Gorbachev, if you know who he is. But now look at the Earth. It's black, it's brown, with no green spot. The only one left is, some green thing happening. This is a reality we might be facing. This is why Changemaker's world is so important. It was funny when we saw the celebrities. It's no more humorous if we see our own Earth. The very Earth we inhabit might be lost if you look at this. And this is why you and I need to understand what these goals are. It started with a Millennium Development Goal or the MDGs, and this is only history that I wanted to share with you. 15 years, the United Nations came up, the General Assembly came up with 8 goals. After 15 years, some of them achieved. We did good work. And I said, I'm a very optimistic person. I'm a very positive person. For me, hope is more important than fear. And I think, yes, we did good. But then we realized we're not doing enough. So these goals where maybe poverty and hunger were too crumbled in one goal, suddenly the goals became widened. On 25th September, let's say 2015, the United Nations with 169 goals and all the countries of the world, 180 plus countries, agreed on these 17 goals. Imagine, your family has 4 members, you don't agree on what to have for dinner. These are 180 countries which agreed on these 17 goals. And today I will not give you a runaway explanation of every goal here, but these goals become a part of what I want to teach you. These are the 17 goals that we call the Sustainable Development Goals or the Global Goal, or in Hindi we say the Satat Vikas. These are simple goals like no poverty, number one, and it's easy to remember. For example, goal number 5 is gender equality. Double five, it is 10, which is reduce inequalities, like the migrants, what's happening, or the refugee crisis, that's one. Goal number probably, let's say 13 to 15 is about air, water, and land. Climate change, all about it. Life below water, goal 14. Life on land, goal 15. It is, for me, my favorite perhaps, and I'll ask you, these are goals I want you to work on. Since I did a lot of talking, let me share a little easier take on what goals could be. Maybe just share something else with you. Because the
Yeah,
idea of sharing these goals with you is you understand that these goals are to be taught not just to our children, but to us as well, isn't it? So let's
true.
learn these goals. Uh, are we going good, Anissa ma'am, on time and the
Yes.
program?
No, no, sure, sir. We can.
Thank you so much. Right. So let me go back to my. Let's learn from this gentleman. I think all of you know him, what these goals are. Same thing, I'm sure. Let him tell us. Right. It's a simple thing that says plan your part. Mr. Bean does it. I'm sure most of you are very big, grown-ups, but Mr. Bean is always funny. It's very interesting. And the idea of sharing this with you was to tell you that all of us have to do our part. It is not only Mr. Bean's responsibility. I think it's everyone's responsibility that these goals become a part of what you and I are doing. So let me take a little bit, detail, and probably we'll open up, for some questions and some suggestions, but a little 4 or 5 details of what these goals could be. Let's say, how does organization help in goal? Maybe Apple's new product, how does it help in goal? Or what's common to Olympics and the goals beside all the colorful rings? Or how can Uber help the earth? That is where the SDGs become very good. And that's what I do with a lot of organizations. I'm sharing that schools need to be the first ones to take up. For example, Apple could be an industry leader in innovation and infrastructure. That's goal number 9. Uber can be more responsible in consumption. Maybe Uber shifts down to solar cars or Teslas, Elon Musk cars, and that's goal number 12. Olympics is already doing its part called Partnership for Goals, where countries are coming together. Recent Olympics, the last Olympic that we had, there was a nation where it's all made of refugees. There's a girl called Yusra Mardini who swam from Syria to Greece, and she was under the banner of no country. Amazing. There's so much that can be done if we just partner together. It's a message for our schools itself. Today every school has become an island of its own. We don't share resources, we don't share notes, we don't share teachers. How about becoming an archipelago? How about becoming a chain of islands? Today with the pandemic, let's say one school's teacher goes in a session for every 4 or 5 schools together. How much amazing would that be? This is what goal number 17 does. This is what each goals can do for us. Today, we are a team, and that is what I believe global education is doing. Getting everybody together. There are 100 educators from all over the world, schools joining in, and this is what we need to do. Well, you may ask me that for goals to be reached, we have got universities working, governments working, corporates working, activists working, people working, societies working. But what can I do? I'm an individual. I'm alone. I can't do much. So let me take one example of one individual who did an amazing work. This is my favorite charity called Charity Waters. Yes, Scott Harrison, the owner, he one day was in Africa and he realized this girl is taking she's taking a drum of water, which is something like this. It's this dirty, infected, leech-filled, bacteria-filled water, and she's traveling 12 miles just to have this water being drunk by her family. And while she's walking and carrying this, she has, hyenas crawling for her. And he did a campaign where he said, will you give this kind of milk or water to your own child? And then the world realized, and Scott Harrison made a whole charity called Charity Waters, where today they're digging up and boring some lovely bore wells and giving water. That's goal number 3, good health and well-being. In the pandemic, that's one of the most important goals we're talking about. And this was a little exercise that was done with teachers to make them understand what we are doing. So as you see, one of the big ones, if you see the cursor coming in, it's 2030. Today, we are talking about 2020. The goals were constructed in 2015. 5 years down the line, now what we are doing, we're entering what is called the decade of action. If now we don't take action, perhaps we'll have the same face-app earth that we were dreading about, that we're afraid about, that look like animation might become a reality. In fact, as I speak, in Australia, bushfires are happening. Climate change is real, and this is what these goals are talking about. These goals are conveying a message to us that if you and I don't do enough, we don't work around it, we will be lost about it. One more goal, a very common goal I want to talk about is what you see here. You see a French Open, isn't it? You see the Ronald grass because of the clay court. And then you see that there is a mixed doubles happening. But then there's a problem. Wimbledon, it started with that. And French Open, men are paid more than women. You work hard, you slog similar, you are in the court, you are under the sun, you're playing enough, you're doing same fitness regime, you're working on the same diets. Why there's a fitness problem? There is a goal called gender equality. Suddenly we are realizing that each of the cases, each of the issues, each of the problem in the world has a goal about it, and these are we talking about. Well, I just took up this gender equality. I said, this is what's happening in the world. Today, one of the best things that is happening is teachers are using technology, and 90% of teachers in the schools are females. So we are looking at some amazing people. Of course, there are some, men almost endangered like me and some other people I know who are also there in the education sector. But then I salute because of being a homemaker, being a mother, being a teacher. It's not easy. You're juggling your jobs, and that's what our teachers are doing. But then there's some goals we need to address. The first goal that the teachers are addressing, the fraternity of teachers addressing, is quality education. And amazing. This is a goal that's so dear, and this is the goal I want to talk about. The second goal is, of course, gender equality. So you see how they're following through. You know, one, you if you work for one, the other ones will also work. Maybe as I speak about it, I say, why are teachers paid not high enough as much as the doctors? Because look at the work the teachers are doing. And then that's the question we answer in goal number 8, called decent work and economic growth. I appeal to the parents out there who's questioning the idea of should we pay or not pay. I'm saying you are not paying the institutions, you're paying the teachers, their livelihood, the efforts they're putting in. And this is where our goals become very important. So, do we go ahead, Anisa ma'am? Do you want to put some comments, your suggestion? I'm interested.
Yes, definitely, sir. Please go ahead. Everybody is liking your session. I'm getting comments that they are liking it. It is a wonderful session. So please go ahead. If you want, I can ask you questions at the end of the session. Is it okay?
That's absolutely fine. I think that would be really good. What I wanted to
Sure,
do
sir.
also is show a little bit of another video. I think one of the
Sure.
ways, and then we go ahead. I'll start the share. I spoke about the teachers, and I think it would be unfair for my part if I don't dedicate something, to the people who are making a difference in our lives. So here is a little tribute to all of you, the teachers here.
Yeah.
All right, ma'am, if you mute, then I can just play.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we cannot hear any voice.
You can't, ma'am.
No, no.
The video's voice or my voice?
A video.
Okay, I will just share it again. Maybe it
Yeah.
says I'll share the audio again. Thank you so much. Let's hope you can hear it now. Can you hear now?
No, little louder, sir. Volume.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Right there. I think I couldn't have said it better. To all of you, hats off. Pranam for all of you, the teachers here. You are the warriors as much as anyone else. And I think as we are talking about Changemakers world, I think it begins with all of you, isn't it, ma'am? We agree
Thank
on
you.
this.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Teachers are doing a lot of hard work, but somehow it is not recognized, I guess, in the
I think it
society.
will be, and sometimes you leave legacies through your students, and just don't give up. So let us do the last part of this SDG. As I'm speaking about it, we went through the entire gamut of the world change. It begins with us, but sometimes you may ask yourself, "I'm all alone." Like the Alan Walker's lovely song, which says, "I'm working all alone. What do I do?" And here is a great hope for you. As I said, for me, optimism always wins over pessimism. Light always wins over dark. And this is the world has changed. My friends, we are not living in a world where today you cannot change. You see, Time magazine had a cover which says the Time Person of the Year. Every year they have a Person of the Year of the Time. It's a very prestigious, very honorable thing, or at least very popular thing, right? So one of the magazine covers a few years back was the cover which says you, and there was a period, full stop. You are the Person of the Year. And you know what? I use this Time magazine to put it in my resume cover. So I made a resume, and trust me, they loved the resume so much. I was asked to go and submit and present a paper at WISE Qatar World Summit for Education, and because it is so innovative, it's so creative, and that's what teachers should be. You are the change makers today. Never ever think you're alone. The 17 goals could be something you take up. And this is, again, as I say, I always refer to books. This is what is happening. The world has become flat. We are zooming our lives. We are on Google Meets. We are using Facebook. We are changing the world by our applications. You don't have to worry where you are sitting. I'm using my daughter's room. I borrowed it. Can you see all the Iron Man stickers behind? And I'm not ashamed. You are my guest in the house. And that's okay. As teachers, the children are the guests in your house. So don't be worried if there's something hanging here, if there's a dinosaur around and you look like, oh, what is this sir doing? There's a dinosaur. That's my daughter's room. And there's stickers and there's a bunk bed. If I turn around my camera, you will see a bunk bed with this shelf. It's okay. When you are a guest in somebody's home, how do you treat them? Teach your children to be the guest in your home. And that is where, I realize the privacy is no more a world thing. He says something amazing. Thomas Friedman, a brilliant author, another book, he says, thank you for being late. He said, we may be late, but the world has changed. 20 years back, 50 years back, we had enough time to watch a Ramayana together as a family. Today, everybody has their own gadget and they are own watching something else. But it's okay. The technology can also communicate and connect. And that is what I'm teaching you. Today, you don't need Oprah Winfrey to call you on a talk show. You can have your own talk show on YouTube, isn't it? You don't have to have a Sony label which only signs you up and then you can make your own record album. You can pick up a record album and Spotify, Ghana.com, Amazon Songs, and you are there. You have Instagram to become a celebrity chef. You don't have to come on a Sanjeev Kapoor cook show or Nailed It show only to be a celebrity chef. Today, the power is in your hands. You can make your movies and you don't need a Russia's film or a Universal Studio to produce your film. You have Netflix and your films are there. Oh, an author, Stephen King, one of the best authors in horror fiction, someone I love, Carrie and movies like It. Yeah, he waited 20 years to get his book It published. Imagine, today you can write a book and Amazon will publish it on the Kindle and everybody will buy it, download it for free. Today you can create revolutions with a one tweet. The Egyptian revolution, they call the Tahrir Square revolution, or the one in Yemen, it happened, or in Serbia, it happened with one tweet. One tweet can topple governments in these countries. So the power, my friend, is in your hand. And I'm not only meaning mobile phone, is in your voice, is in your idea. Remember what I'm telling you. A seed grows into and fill in the blanks. Tell me in the chat what you think. Seed grows into what? And sometimes we are so limited. You might say plant, you might say a tree, and I'm telling you, a seed grows into a forest. You didn't realize the power of a seed. A seed grows into a forest. That's the power of an idea. That is what Changemakers World about. I love this girl. Oh, such a sweet girl. Her name is Greta Thunberg. Greta is from Sweden. Greta is a lovely girl. You know why I love her? Because she used to bunk school every Friday. Every child's childhood dream. And she would dress up and go in front of a school and she will sit down in front of school and she say, Fridays for climate change. Fridays for future. That's a Danish or a Swedish language word that you're looking at. And what did she do? She did it for 1 year. And what happened? Greta, imagine one school-going girl bunking a Friday, how important it is. And Greta changed the way we look at the world. Greta is a celebrity for climate change. Greta was invited to United States. And you know what? This young girl, she refused to fly to United States from Sweden. She says, this is carbon footprint. I am young. I have all the time in the world. She sailed. Can you think? Zero carbon yacht is what she took and she sailed. And in New York Harbor, United Nations sent 17 sailboats, 17 yachts to welcome her. This is just few of them you can see from goal 1 and goal 9 that can see an extreme. There are another 6 goals, 7 out there, or 8 rather. All these boats are welcoming Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg is a new voice for climate activism. So don't ever think, my friends, that you are all alone. We can't speak because that's the voice we have. The global goals is your goal. What's your global goal? You can speak about no poverty, zero hunger, climate change, solar power. Goal number 7 is about affordable energy, quality education. All of us anyway are part of quality education. These are what I'm talking about. Well, this is my friend Roberto Jurez from Mexico. And that is what I did. I reached out on the SDG forum. I have no idea how he is, where he lives in, until I found him on Facebook. I exchanged some messages. I said, Roboto, will you come and speak to my kids, my students on SDG? And Roboto said, I'll love to. He's sitting in Mexico City and he gets up at 1 a.m. in his night, right, to speak to the children. I told him, because I said, my kids can't come back at 10 o'clock in the night. You will have to get up. This young boy, he brings his another friend, Oscar, and Oscar knows nothing but Spanish. And Oscar spoke. He did an entire presentation in Spanish. Can you believe it? And the kids loved it. They asked him about the movie called Coco. Mexico has the Day of the Dead. And we had a blast. We had a time. Imagine partnership for goals, goal number 17. We are reaching out, and you can do the same. This is what we're talking about. One of my recommendations on the book, and I end you with this recommendation, and I'll give you one more, I'll give two recommendations, is this book. It's also a Netflix movie called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. I usually use this entire design thinking in the entire program on the SDG in goal number 12, responsible consumption. This boy was in a small African country called Malawi. They did not have electricity, and he makes a windmill with the blades of a old dynamo fan and whatever he could find, and he really changed the entire village of his own. It's a true story of one boy with a dream and aspiration. These are the SDGs, my friends. These are the goals I'm leaving you. What are the goals you're going to pick up? You can harness the wind, and symbolic, you can change. हवाओं के रुख बदल सकते हो आप. It's all about looking at it. As they say, जब नजरिया बदलता है, जब निगाहें बदलती है तो नजरिए बदल जाते हैं. When you see a change, there's a paradigm change in the way we see things. It's all about seeing things. So I ask you, go ahead and learn about the SDGs. Some of you already know, implement the SDGs in your own schools. I have a great friend, Dr. Jaya Parekh, a brilliant educator of Ramratna. She's as passionate educator as I am on SDG. And I said, ma'am, just take it and do it in your school. She's doing it. One second recommendation is this course I would like you to do on Coursera, a free course, The Age of Sustainable Development by Jeffrey Sachs. Go ahead, learn about the goals, become an SDG activist. This is what I want to thank you about. This is a global festival of action. It's a time we are into the decade of action. No more theory, no more talking. It's about doing something. So I leave you with this thought, with this hope that can you become a growth activist? Can you become an SDG activist? I hope you enjoy, you benefit, and you implement what I'm sharing you with. Thank you so much, and thank you for this amazing program Getty is doing, and Anisa ma'am for being a lovely host. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Miss Suman, she wants to know the name of the movie again, if you can repeat the name.
Right, ma'am. This is a book and a movie on Netflix called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. So maybe if you want, I can go back and show you. So this is The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. I would strongly recommend that when you watch it with your kids also, take your time and sit together and watch it. So we do a lot of fun together. We talk about it. So if you are into movies and watching, ma'am, there's another one called Eddie the Eagle, a lovely movie on sports, not giving up. So these are some of the ones that I recommend that you should be watching together with your kids.
Sure, sir.
Right.
So shall I ask you a few questions, sir? If
That
you
would
allow
be
me? Yeah.
Please, ma'am.
So
Should I stop sharing the screen or shall I keep it on? Okay, I'll leave this on and then okay.
Yeah. So how to integrate these goals in the curriculum? Because I'm sure after your energetic and positive attitude, teachers are going to take it seriously, and how to implement it, but in our regular curriculum.
We can. This is actually a very lovely question, ma'am, and something
Sir,
that I strongly, yes,
excuse me, sir, shall I
strong,
remove the PPT so that
yes,
people will be able to? Yeah,
correct,
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Perfect. This is much better. Yeah. So one of the thing I really believe that, as I said, action is very important, and you can start with introducing the goal. I did show a Mr. Bean video. It may not be very funny also, but there are rap songs on SDG goals. There's some mnemonics on it. Maybe one way is just play a video. Since most of us are doing online classes, play a video and tell them what you see in the video. So you're introducing the goal. Number two, what I do is I play a quiz around the video, and I do it for a lot of children, college students. For example, I'll put a list of movies and I'll say what goals are related to it. So I say Three Idiot, and they should think of, oh, goal number 4, right? Or Sui Dhaga. There was this very, I think Anushka Sharma and Varun Dhawan's movie. Just an example, and you say, oh, goal number 8, decent work. Or you can use some of the common ones. A pursuit of happiness is goal number one. No poverty. So then you introduce the goal. You pick up one goal and you tell them stories of how these goals are affecting them. How many children are living below poverty today? Milk is like uh, you don't think that we'll not get milk or water, but there are countries in Africa where they don't have decent water. So once you use a goal, you can make a small timeline, you can introduce some work that's happening, the need for these goals, and that is when you start making them conscious. You can talk about the goal number 15, life on land, and talk about poaching, one of my favorite topic. Imagine if I cut your nose. Yeah, Surpanaka, that's the story we heard. But now imagine if I cut your nose because I love it. How would you feel if I cut your nose just for the heck of because it's beautiful, right? When you don't deserve it, or if I remove your teeth, and people are doing to rhinos, people are doing it to elephants, or maybe I love your skin so much, I'm going to take your skin for the snakes and the crocodiles, and then they realize how bad poaching is. So you can take up a goal and you can expand on it. I hope that answers that.
Yeah, yeah. And sir, how to start? How to choose a goal?
Okay.
When to start?
It would be also your personal preferences or the ease of the student. For example, if it's a student which are very young, I've introduced goals as young as grade one, and I said animals are a great introduction. We anyway talk about animals to them in pre-primary, so you can talk about poaching. Goal number 14 is about fishes in the ocean and how much plastic is damaging our ocean. So you can show them pictures of turtle and tortoise with plastics in the mouth, or seahorses which eats a earbud. So you can introduce these goals. Number two could be your personal preference. Let's say you are very passionate about a particular goal, say clean energy or solar energy, and we can talk about Elon Musk and the kind of inventions he's doing. That could be a goal. So
Okay,
it could be anything that you are personally very passionate about, and you can introduce these goals.
sure, sir. So the target is 2030. So we have
Right.
to reach our goals till 2030. So where are up to right now? Where are we?
All right, this is a very tough question because, as I said, I don't want to present a very grim picture. But if you listen to some of the experts talking about it, they say we have not even started. We are very, very far behind. I know that I'm being very optimist and very hopeful, but honestly, today, the Australian bushfire, the entire koala population of that region, they're extinct, and the koalas by overall are endangered. The cute bear that we always assumed is there. One day you will visit Australia and see them. Maybe they'll only be in a museum, not in a sanctuary. Uh, Icebergs are melting in Antarctica, and perhaps we don't even know what's happening around. Yeah, you see the climate is already changing. So we have not started. The only countries that are doing reasonably well are the Scandinavian countries: Denmark, Finland, Sweden, perhaps because they have less people to deal with. So country India, Bangladesh, China, Brazil needs to do a lot more than just so it starts with awareness, and that's what we are doing. Trust me, I have
True,
great hope. 10 years is not a long time, but our kids are smarter than us. As I said, one tweet
true,
can change the world, so they can do a lot of work.
true, sir. Definitely, we all have to work for this goal because we have very limited timeline, 10 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for your positive. We have taken a lot of positive energy, and definitely our teachers are going to set few goals, and they will tell others also to set few goals. Thank you so much for giving your precious time and make us aware about this SDG.
Thank you so much, Anisa ma'am. Very gentle, a wonderful host. So all thanks to you and the team who's doing some amazing work. Wish all the best to Sunita ma'am and the entire team at Getty.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.